A man peeing in his own front yard was memorialized on Google Street View, and he's not happy about it.
Hi, I'm James from Streeter, Illinois. Let's talk about that.
Good. Mythical morning.
This episode is brought to you by Catulas.com, the guys with the goods.
The guys with the toilet mug.
If you ever wanted to drink coffee out of a toilet, but you couldn't pick it up, now's your chance.
I'm drinking brown tinted water out of a small toilet.
And we're talking about men peeing in their own front yard. So, welcome to Good Mythical Morning today.
Coffee. It's coffee, people.
Hope you're glad that you made this choice. I'm glad that you've made this choice. Is
this going to be too much of a distraction to you, me, or the people? Because it's coffee, and I want to keep drinking it.
As long as you don't slurp it, it's not a distraction to me.
You may have heard about this story. It was in the news last week, and then continuing to be in the news over the weekend as it developed. This is actually a developing story.
Yeah, things just keep developing about it.
This man, who has yet to reveal his name, in a French village, which also the village has yet to have been revealed,
really, is
suing Google because he was apparently caught on Street View urinating in his front yard.
Now, his name and the village are not public knowledge, but we do have a shot of the picture, which we will throw up there for you to look at, and we can scrutinize it
and we
together.
will be examining and scrutinizing this image ourselves. But yes. And the reason this guy found out about it, I don't know how long it's been up there, but he found out about it because he became an object of ridicule in this little French village. I think that's how things happen in French villages, you know. Everybody knows everybody.
You're walking around town
with a baguette under your arm.
And people just start, oh, look at him. He is the guy who was peeing in Google Street View.
But they don't just use a French accent and speak English. They
actually speak French. Which I can't do, so I'm just...
Sorry,
that's the
French,
best.
You French fans. I don't know how many French fans we have out there, but we didn't mean to make fun of you and stereotype you by putting a French baguette under your arm. We're just playing around. We're drinking out of toilets and just playing around.
As many of you know, Google has cars that have cameras mounted on their roof or hood or someplace on the vehicle, and it's just a series of cameras in a spherical type thing. I've seen this thing around L.A.,
Yeah, I've seen it several times.
On Los Feliz Boulevard, I actually saw it 2 different times. It's like it just couldn't get enough of that one particular street. And I always
try to get in there behind it. I'm doing my best to get on Street View.
And do you pee when you try to get on it?
I will from now on. So
they've got the camera, and they're just constantly taking photos. When it first came out, which is Street View itself is not news, people. Hopefully, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but you can easily get sucked into looking at Google Street View as a form of entertainment. Even if you don't see a French guy who is micturating in his front yard.
Micturating, that's good. I always use Street View if I'm going to somebody's house and I'm like, I've got the time and I want to say, all right, I want to know exactly what this looks like. But then I just get sucked in and then I'm like, well, I want to see what the neighbor's house looks like.
You just click to the right, to the right, to the right.
Even though I'm going there to see it in real life, I still want to experience it in Street View.
We just want to see how it's different. You want to see how Street View matches up with the reality. You want to be able to scrutinize it.
But this guy, as you can see from the picture, let's bring this picture up and talk about it. Obviously, this man, he's looking over his shoulder as if to say, oh, there's somebody driving by.
And it looks to me as if his arms are crossed. You know? Now, I'm not an arms crossed peer. But this guy may be. You know,
that's when you're really settling into one, and you're just like, I'm going to be here a while. In my front yard that has a road next to it. Why is he could have just as easily been behind the vehicle.
Or, you know what? Even better yet, what if he went back into his house, went to his bathroom, and then peed? You know, what a concept. Go in your house and pee.
I'm just thinking this is a lightly trafficked road. He doesn't see a lot of people. Obviously, if he's just saying, you know what, I'm just going to let it drop right here in the front yard, in front of the car, he must not have a lot of traffic on a regular basis.
Let it drop. He was doing number one, not number two.
It still drops. It's constantly dropping.
It flows. He very well could be peeing on his own minivan there. What is that? Is that a minivan?
It's like a French French-styled minivan. It looks actually some kind of like utility vehicle. Maybe he's cleaning the headlights off.
Depending on how much he's got stored up.
You know, it's like
if he has enough pressure to knock off the bugs.
Well, it's not like a pressure washer. I'm sorry, like there's ammonia in urine, and maybe he's
solvent
loosening the all the bugs that have gotten on the grill there.
And then he hears a car going by, and thank goodness he just turned his head. I mean, what kind of trouble would this guy be in if he would have turned his whole body to see that was the Google Street View car, snapping photos of him, you know.
Well, here's one question about this guy. Does he have a case? I mean, this guy's suing Google for about 10,000 euros, about $13,000. Does he have a case? I mean, first of all, we've never really even questioned the privacy issues that, you know, the privacy that's being violated with Street View. But I guess, you know, anybody on a public street could theoretically go to this spot and walk by and see this guy urinating.
Yeah, they could snap a photo, but that doesn't seem right.
The snapping of the photo is where they've crossed the line?
Right, where the photo crosses the literal property boundary.
Because it doesn't really become nearly as viral if it's just, hey, I was walking through this French village with a baguette under my arm, and check it out, I saw this dude peeing. As a story, it's kind of like, oh, great story. But as a Street View image, it takes on a whole new, you know, quality.
I don't think that he should be that upset. I mean, he's comfortable enough to let it leak in his own front yard. I mean, he could have gone in his house. You know, I think technically he could probably sue. This is just my opinion. I have no legal training, but practically, dude, you're peeing in your front yard. I mean, if you're comfortable enough to do that, just, you know, you
embrace it.
Call Google Street View. Get them to come back every time you do it. You know, make a calendar of yourself peeing in your front yard. You know, capitalize on it.
Yeah. Come by next time. I'll be facing the camera. I think he could have just said, "Listen, I wasn't peeing." I mean, it isn't. And I realize it's a little blurred, and maybe there was like a stream or something that you could see in one image that's been now blurred just for this, you know, man's decency.
But we don't have reason to believe that happened.
But I would say, hey, I wasn't peeing. I was just looking over my shoulder. But apparently the whole village is convinced that he was actually urinating. Well, so apparently he's admitting guilt to that.
When he sued Google, he drew all this attention to himself that he was peeing.
Yeah, I am the guy I'm being made a fool of internationally.
Now, I will say, we are holding back on you people. We've got an amazing piece of information here that we could have led with this story, but we want to reward those of you who've stuck around for this whole episode. I think most of you stick around the whole time. You should be rewarded with information like this. Would you believe that someone here was caught on Google Street View?
Me. I am on Street View. This is not a joke.
At your own house.
At my old residence in Fuquay Varina. I don't live there anymore. So I'm going to give you the address so you can go and look it up yourself. 122 East Street in Fuquay Varina, North Carolina.
That's Fuquay.
If you look that up, we'll put a link to it in the description. If you look that up, you will see a
little white house with a black scion in front of it.
And I didn't even know that they were passing that day. This picture was taken in 2007, according to the watermark there.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, it says 2012, but no, it says
October
2007. I'm going into the door, as you can see. Well, I could be peeing, actually. You know what? Actually,
are you peeing?
I'm going to change my. I was actually urinating. It's hard to tell. I'm urinating on my front step there. I thought about suing Google, but you know, I kind of wanted to just embrace it. I'm letting one drop right there on the porch. It's kind of hard to tell.
But just imagine the sheer serendipity of being caught on Google Street View in front of your own house. Search Google Street View for hours, and you'll be hard pressed to see people in their own front yard, much less peeing.
I didn't even know. I don't think I even knew about Google Street View at the time that this photo was taken. This is 5 years ago.
I think this may be one of the first Google Street Views. They came to your house in order to start it.
And I was wearing my cargo pants, my cargo shorts.
Yeah, think of the serendipity to see Rhett in cargo shorts. I've never seen you in cargo shorts.
Well, when I'm getting ready for my big Google Street View appearance, I was like, you gotta
be nimble. Or
But-
you want to keep your legs, you want to keep your shins cool.
Someone else discovered this. I didn't know that Google Street View had gone by. I'm just going into my house, minding my own business, and somebody was using Street View to get to my house. And when they showed up, they said, "You know what? You're on Street View. You're on your front porch on Street View." And I was
Really?
like, "Really?" We pulled it up, and there I was, peeing on my front steps.
I think that we should just start waiting for Google Street View. Just think about, I mean, this Frenchman's getting national attention. Maybe you're soon to follow, Rhett, as a result of this episode. You're going to get national attention. You should sue Google for catching you peeing. And then
I'm making a public declaration right now. I was urinating on my front steps back in 2007, and I'm filing a suit against Google.
I think people around the world should just sit on their front steps and just wait for Google Street View to come by and just hold it for as long as you can and just
Let it go. Let it rip. Let it drop.
Let it go when they come by and then cash in. Cash in.
You know what? Let's do that. Everybody, let's start spinning the wheel. But if you are caught peeing on Google Street View,
Give us a ring.
we're gonna talk to an attorney, and we're gonna have a class action lawsuit. Anybody who's ever been caught peeing, hold on, are we gonna get shut down because of this? Because Google pays our bills.
We're joking. It's just a joke.
How are we gonna end this?
By consulting with our lawyer, I guess.
Link leaves sad. Well, we thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that you had to see me drink out of a toilet the entire time.
I can't believe that you didn't even ask to see my house in Street View. It really hurts my feelings.
Link, but you're not on Street View.
I know, but it hurts my feelings to know that I'm not on it. I'm not on Street View.
Well, we could Photoshop you in there.
Sounds like I'm dying, doesn't it? See you tomorrow.